Good morning. Day 500. 500 days since the brutal massacre of innocent young women and men. I'm here at the Nova Musical site where 364 innocent young men and women were brutally murdered. 44 of them were kidnapped, including Jonathan Samoreno, who was kidnapped by UNRWA employees. 500 days. Jonathan is still held captive. We have 73 hostages. Some of them, out of the 44 who were kidnapped from this site alone, are still held and tortured, being tortured in the most brutal ways. The information that we've been receiving from the released hostages of the torture that they've been going through, some of them are being held alone for nearly 500 days in tunnels, no sunlight, no food and water for days, beating, psychological torture, physical torture. 500 days. Came here today to give respect for the victims of this horrific massacre that were taking place in this site 500 days ago by the inhumane, barbaric, rapist, modern-day Nazis, monsters of Hamas, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, UNRWA, the UN, and the Red Cross. They are all complicit together. I came here to do what I do every morning, to demand from these inhumane, barbaric, rapist monsters to surrender and let all of the 73 hostages go immediately, now, in one bus, unconditionally. Israel should give up nothing. Look at these faces of these young people. What was the crime? They came here to dance for peace. What was the crime? These women, some of these women here were brutally raped to the level that the pelvis bone were broken. Some of them were tied in the trees around here and brutally raped and massacred. What was the crime? The crime was that there were Jews living in their homeland. After 2,000 years, we finally came back home to live, so we can live as we were persecuted all around the world, in Europe and in the Middle East, in the Arab countries. They were just celebrating. They just came here to dance 500 days ago, and we still have 73 held captive. We demand the immediate release. No more drips and drops, no more little by little. We demand all of the hostages to be released now. And we'll continue to demand that. Yesterday, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who came to visit Israel, had a good meeting, successful meeting with Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu, and they said the following important.
I want to assure everyone who's now listening to us, President Trump and I are working in full cooperation and coordination between us. We have a common strategy, and we can't always share the details of this strategy with the public, including when the gates of hell will be opened, as they surely will if all our hostages are not released until the last one of them.
The hostages need to come home. They need to be released. And you work in very close coordination with him. He's working in very close coordination, but with the Prime Minister and his government, and ensuring that that happens. That must happen. It's not optional. The President's been very clear. Hamas cannot continue as a military or government force. And frankly, as long as it stands as a force that can govern, or as a force that can administer, or as a force that can threaten by use of violence, peace becomes impossible. They must be eliminated. They must be eradicated. To the people of this great country, for whom we have tremendous love and respect, for everything you're facing, have faced, and continue to face, is an extraordinary story of bravery. A nation founded in the ashes and in the aftermath of a horrifying crime against humanity, stood from its very inception, from the very day of its birth, against threats from every angle and every corner, and has served as an example to the world of a pluralistic society, a free enterprise democracy, and one that if there were more Israels in the Middle East, more countries like that, the world would be a safer and a better place. And this is what we hope for the region and for our planet. a nation that's always sought peace, but will not allow itself to be intimidated or destroyed by its enemies. And on that front, you can always count on us, as long as I'm in this position and President Trump is in the White House. So thank you.
We want to see hell being unleashed on these monsters. We want to see all 73 hostages out there immediately in one bus. We appreciate the relationship between the Obama-Biden administration, the Trump administration. That's why America is hot again. Make America great again, make Israel supported again. Finally, we are being supported, and we can put the pressure where it's desperately needed on the monsters' hands. And we will continue to do so. We will do whatever we need to defend ourselves with whatever means necessary. And we will remain living in our homeland, and we will continue to cherish life. From the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea, Am Israel will always be. And may the memory of all these victims of the Nova site, 364 of them, may they all rest in peace, and the memory forever be a blessing. Am Israel Chai, forever.